Welcome, welcome. We're going to get the chat out of here. And now I'm going to talk to you about how to make money during coronavirus, during the lockdown, during the COVID-19 scare, because a lot of people feel like they're lost. They feel like their life is in tumult. It's tumultuous. They feel like flotsam in the in the tides of life, and you can get around that. Okay? You're more than your job. You may have lost hours on your job. They may be saying take your PTO, but you are more than your job. You can provide value in ways other than your job. This is a terrible thing to happen to a lot of people. It's a terrible global pandemic. But what we're not acknowledging is that we are being forced to consider other ways to make money. We're being forced to consider what we can do, what value we can provide. I feel like in the United States, so many people are married to their job. Not only and they work too many hours, but that they think that's who they are. And without that structure of a workplace environment, they feel lost. They feel useless. They feel like they have nothing to add to society. And I think that that's on the tail end of a lot of the health fears or the shortages or whatever we're seeing. That's kind of what's driving it all. And so I just want you to really, if you're watching this, just please acknowledge that you are more than your job, and you as a person, you're in your totality, have so much value to provide. And in a time like this, that value is needed more than ever. And we're going to go over a few different things, and none of these things are going to be reselling health-related products. I want to get that said off of the bat. There's at this point, so many states have declared a state of emergency. The way the federal government's handling it, for both your sanity and avoiding any legal repercussions, and also irritating people. The consumers have spoken. They don't want people to sell these things on Amazon. So listen to that and just let that happen as it is. There are still a lot of products that are not related at all to coronavirus that people want and you can sell. There are still a lot of services you can provide that aren't related to coronavirus that you can make money on, and there are still things you can create. And that really is the big thing we're going to hit on, is that everyone is a captive audience right now. Okay? We're all at home. I mean, I'm at my warehouse, but people are not going around. They're not taking big trips. If you want to pitch an idea to the internet, now is the best time. And so the first thing we're gonna talk about is, let's think outside of the box, right? So the box would be, I go to work, I make this money, I trade my time for money, whatever it is. How can you go outside of that paradigm? Well, we have to ask ourselves, what are jobs doing? For employees, they're giving you money. But for consumers, they are fulfilling a need. They're fulfilling a service. They're satisfying a need. And the amount of needs out there, as opposed to the needs that existed 2 weeks ago or 2 months ago, are drastically different. Drastically different in every way, because of not only people have to stay at home with their kids more, people are scared to go into grocery stores. There is state governments, federal governments saying, hey, excuse me, don't go out. They're saying don't go out and do these things. And so there's this general fear going around. And the best way to remove fear from a society or from people is to calm down the number of people out there. You know, if you have 10 people panicking, that's not so good. But if you have 1,000 people panicking, that's really, really bad. And so these services we will be providing are with the intention of consolidating the amount of people who are being in contact with each other. So the first one, I think off the bat, is going to be the idea of a grocery or just a supply run delivery service. We're going to see neighborhoods where one person goes around to all their neighbors. They, have their can of Lysol and their face mask, and they say, hey, I'm going to Kroger or I'm going to Walmart for $10. Give me your grocery list and give me the cash, and I'll buy these items for you. And so we're going to have this decentralized, personalized shopping network that's just neighborhood by neighborhood. People are going to be acting together as a community, and they're going to be using the money they have to facilitate those transactions. This is going to take the place of, I mean, the way I see it is a bunch of old people who have a lot of money from all the years they've worked, who are looking to spend their money on conveniences like that. And this is how, in a free market economy, wealth goes from wealthier older people to people who aren't as wealthy, to someone who's willing to work, to someone who's not as worried about going to a grocery store and buying groceries, for example. You can take that premise of providing a service that minimizes communal contact amongst the people around you, and you can sell that because they don't want to do it. They're willing to pay their money for it. You are willing to do it. Obviously, everyone has to take their own, everyone takes into account how they value their health, the risk to their health they think there is, but that's called freedom. That's called independence. Everyone in the United States should have the ability to decide what happens to their body. That's just, I mean, not everyone believes that. I firmly believe that. So if you're going to say it's okay for this person to have control over their body, why can't you say this person if they're being responsible about it? I mean, obviously, someone who's sick or someone who's being irresponsible, they shouldn't be able to do that. But if you're taking all the necessary steps, I don't understand how having some government official hand out food boxes to you is any more efficient, is any more helpful, is any better than if someone in your community is doing it and being paid for their services. That's just my opinion on it. Obviously, if you disagree with me, let me know in the comments below. This is a discussion. I mean, I'm talking to you, but I want you guys to know these are my opinions. These are the way I see things. I've been wrong before. I'll be wrong again. I could be wrong right now. But, I mean, it is what it is. So let's say you don't want to do that, or you're in a very rural area where you can't do that, or you can't, go pick up groceries or go pick up clothing, or who knows, just run errands for people. There's no errands to be run. What do? Well, everyone's at home still, and that is essentially a captive audience. The reason I have about 3 times as many people watching this video right now as I do normally in a live stream is because they're at home. People are desiring content to consume so strongly, so much. People want to watch things. They want to watch things about how to make money, which is what I know about, but they also want to watch things in regard to their interests. My girlfriend, Ashley, you've seen her before, you're going to see her again. This weekend, we're setting up her yoga studio downstairs in our basement so she can film her yoga classes, and we can put them on YouTube. Because normally what she was doing with that time is teaching classes. Those classes got canceled. Is she just saying, oh, I have no value, oh, I'm helpless, oh, I can't do anything because my job is gone? No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. What she's saying is I have these skills. I know how to teach yoga. I can do a concise class. I can make it entertaining. I can make them listen to it. Let's take that and allow access to everyone on the internet. No longer is she just teaching to these 15 people. She teaches yoga for grad students and people in recovery. So people who are high stress environments who need this help. She's doing that. The barrier to entry to go to a yoga class and to watch one on YouTube, they're miles apart. And so not only is she allowing more people to see her stuff, she's going to get paid better for it, per CPM, I guess. And she's also going to allow access to a lot of people out there who otherwise wouldn't, because 1, they're in a city where everyone's quarantined. 2, the money isn't there. 3, maybe they're depressed and can't get out of their house. There's just so many, in times of a crisis like this, when you look for the positive thing that's happening and the way that you can make your life better through all of this chaos around you, it's going to be such a satisfying event to come to an understanding you're going to have for yourself, because you're helping people who need it and you're making money. Those are 2 of the most satisfying things I can think of. Obviously, helping people doesn't pay the bills, and only making money will leave you empty and depressed. But when you combine them together, when you balance your life in that way, in my opinion, that is the most satisfying way to live. Also, so if you are selling these things, sorry, I got kind of caught up in my own personal speech there for a minute. I do have a script. If you are selling things, my recommendation is no FBA. We don't know how what the future holds for these fulfillment centers, but what we do know is fulfillment centers are centralized hubs where tens of thousands of people's things they touched and thousands of people all go and interact. So I would not be surprised if in the future these fulfillment centers are running at either closed down or running at a smaller capacity, less than they normally would, which is gonna hurt your Prime sales. It's gonna make people favor eBay and merchant fulfilled more. And so me, the guy who's been saying for years and years and years, oh, I'm only FBA. I only do FBA. Blah, 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 blah. Now I'm doing merchant fulfilled because that instills more confidence in the customer. Because at the end of the day, that's what we're doing. We're trying to calm people down and give them the stuff they want. I mean, this goes into the whole, this is why, again, I say stay away from pharmaceutical products, from supplements, from anything even remotely corona related. Not because I think it's inherently wrong to sell those products, because I don't. I believe in a free market, I believe in private property, but because just of the consequences it'll occur in ignorant people. People who don't understand what's happening, they might see a high price, they might panic buy. There's just a lot of things that they're just ignorant people, and you have to, unfortunately, if you want to help ignorant people, you have to be prepared to deal with ignorance, and that inevitably is going to cause you personal harm in some way or another. But I think that's the mindset we have to take this when we approach this. We have to say, okay, let's facilitate that doesn't make people angry, but still, doesn't send our economy to a halt. People still want to buy things, and those things are not going to be where they want them. And people don't want to go to stores. It's just, I don't want to repeat myself over and over again. But if you guys watching this are resellers, you know what I'm getting at. Yeah, that was number 7. Stay away from anything corona related. It's not worth it. The media and lawmakers are trying to assign blame. It's just a bad place to be. There's just too many reasons. The way that I'm going about this is if I'm at a store and I'm looking at things, or I'm not even at stores. If I'm trying to do like online arbitrage, I ask myself, is there any reason I shouldn't sell this? Any reason at all I shouldn't sell this? Is it going to make someone mad? Is it going to cause a panic? Is it going to make some lawmaker screenshot my listing and say Blake's a bad person? I don't want to deal with that shit. I don't want to have to defend myself to people, so I'm just staying away from them completely. And I recommend you do too, because what's going to happen now is as access to this shit is limited, consumers and lawmakers are going to go, well, wait a minute, maybe resellers aren't that bad people. Maybe they were fulfilling needs in the community. But until that happens, I'm saying stay away from medicine. There is, what I've noticed, and I track this stuff, this is what I do. Interestingly enough, excuse me, the only medicine I've seen that's on shortages is like children's Tylenol. Not children's generic acetaminophen, not children's ibuprofen, but, well, is that ibuprofen? The brand Tylenol, I think it's acetaminophen. That brand is being sold out. Definitely do not try and sell that. As insane as people got about buying things for their own personal health, they're going to go 10 layers higher when it has to do with their kids. So just don't do it. It's not worth it. I looked right now, and like you're making like $4 or $5 if you sell children's Tylenol per package. But when the consumer sees it, they see the cost of shipping, they see Amazon's fee, and so they're going, oh, this is 4 times as much, as opposed to a $4 profit. So again, for so many reasons, it's just not worth it. So let's say, okay, Blake, I don't want to do any services, and I hate making YouTube videos. I can't do what you do. I'm not a big blabbermouth. Ebooks, content, people are at home. Any way you consume content, you should be producing that content, because there is not a better time to see if your passion is viable. There just isn't. You're never going to have a more captive audience unless things get worse, and maybe in 5 years we're going to have an Ebola epidemic and then we're all going to die. But for the time being, you have a captive audience. you know what I'm saying. I'm being facetious. They're not captive. You have an audience who is inclined to stay home and watch videos and read books and listen to the radio, listen to podcasts. Maybe you love old sneakers. Maybe you love Frank Crumb comics. Maybe you love Wii games. Maybe you love vanity license plates. Now is the time to make your YouTube channel. You're at home. You're taking PTO. Use this time to figure out, what do I love? How can I turn that into viable income? Maybe not a full-time job, but enough money where you're prepared for the next time something like this happens. The takeaways that there are some takeaways. That's my final point in this video. What do we take away from coronavirus, from this event that happened? And I'm not talking about wash your hands more, because we should all wash our hands more. I'm just speaking to myself. I should wash my hands more, and I am. I've been much more aware of my personal hygiene. But from a business standpoint, from a personal finance standpoint, what should we take away from this? And that's one, things are going to move slowly. From the time the first person got sick in California or Washington to what happened in Michigan to what happened in different states, it doesn't happen overnight. Now, when they make changes, like for example, today they canceled school in Michigan until April 6th, that occurred overnight. But the idea that there's going to be a supply chain gap somewhere along the lines, because like let's say the government says all the freight trucks have to give priority to medical shipments. Well, maybe that makes freight cost 3 times as much, and it does. Like if you go on your freight provider right now, just for fun, see how much it costs to ship 2 pallets 600 miles. It's going to cost like $3,000, which is crazy, but that's just how things go. And so we can learn from this, and we can set ourselves up to be in a good position. We're seeing that the stock market is just plummeting, is crashing. Maybe that's a sign to diversify. Maybe you should invest in yourself more in ways you can have recurring income. Some may even call it passive income. I don't call it that because all income takes work, but that's the word they use. I gotta sneeze now. I'm not sick. I have allergies. That's been the worst part. People who have allergies have been on fucking pins and needles over the past 3 weeks. Like, I have allergies. It's in my nose. I don't have a sore throat. I don't have a fever. It's allergies. But I've just been so hyper aware to hold my coughs in, when I'm at the gas station or whatever I am, and to wipe down everything I touch, which, you should do that. But, not to do that. I just touch my face. Before I got on the live stream, I washed my hands, I did all that. I took a shower, did all that shit. So like, I'm clean. But if I wasn't clean, I definitely would have been just like, because I don't want to, not only do I not want to get coronavirus, I don't want to get the flu. I don't want to get sick. I want to be able to, hopefully, throughout this whole scare, hopefully speak a little bit of reason into people's lives, and just like calm down, like see things for what they are. I'm not saying it isn't a situation worth being concerned about, but the behaviors I'm seeing are absolutely unwarranted. It's crazy. When I was picking up food yesterday, I saw this guy just yelling at an old lady for not going across the street fast enough because he had to get into the Kroger to buy 15 things of toilet paper. Just like, that's made in America, I might add. The things that are going to be so easy to replace are the things people are panic buying, which again just shows you like they've got a scarcity mindset. And that's what we are learning. The vast majority of people, especially poor people that I'm seeing buy stuff at least, I shouldn't say the vast majority. I'm saying there is a portion of that population that is very present who has a mindset of scarcity. They never can have enough, but they're also afraid that there isn't enough to go around. And so they're trying to ration their money to buy as much toilet paper as they can, ignoring that there are more pertinent needs, ignoring that there are more pertinent ways to use your time and money. So that is still absolutely present. And what you should learn from that is what I just said in the earlier part of the video. Don't have that scarcity mindset. when you get laid off from your job, or when you have to take PTO, or when you get, sent to half hours, don't freak out. Do the thing you've been doing since the last freak out to make money, and you're going to be okay. You have to understand, again, that you can provide value in ways beyond your job. Again, this is when I write down these scripts, I use big capital letters. And the first big capital letters that I have were, you are more than your job. You're more than your job. You're more than the benefits your job. You think that a fry cook at McDonald's, you think that person can only cook fries? Hell no. They can do so much more. But like I said, in the United States, for some reason, we're geared to believe that the only way we can provide value is through our job, is through this highly regimented corporatocracy, for lack of a better term. And that's just simply not true. This is your time to find your passion, to figure out how you can make money in a decentralized fashion. Because guess what? Maybe there isn't a coronavirus next year. Maybe you want to go on vacation for 2 months. The restrictions and parameters on the things that you can do are going to be the same. I know that's kind of a weird way to phrase it, but you being laid off and you being on vacation, you still have the same amount of opportunities to make money on the internet. It's just your mindset that's changing you. So again, remember, you're more than your job. Understand what you like. Look at the ways you consume content and then emulate those. The main takeaway that I want you guys all to have from this is, one, like I said, you're more than your job. If you're losing your job, if you're getting your hours cut, listen, it's going to be hard for the time being, but don't take that as a defeat. Use this as an opportunity to figure out how you can make money on the side doing things that other people value. Okay? Like the things that you love, other people are going to love too. Maybe you love World of Warcraft, voiceover videos. I don't know. There are so many things out there that I don't know about that you do know about. Pursue those. Pursue those with the mindset of abundance, not of scarcity. Pursue that with the intentionality, knowing that what you do has value, knowing that you are qualified, knowing that you're confident. Pursue that with the idea of making money when you do it. If you do those three things, you're not going to be as scared next time this happens. And I'm signing off on that, guys. Don't be a shithead, and I mean that more than ever. Give it a thumbs up if you're here. We got over 100 of you. I really appreciate everyone's viewership, and I really appreciate everyone in the Facebook group being positive and everyone being supportive. Now as a country, we have to be supportive of each other more than ever. We don't want to, decay into anarchy. We just want to mind our own businesses. All right, guys. Again, don't be a shithead. I'll see you later. And if you have any questions, you can email me at wbkultra@gmail.com, or just leave a comment below, and I'll answer those too.